Where do writers get their ideas about small moments? Yesterday, we looked at Mrs. Pluta's life web, and I shared some things that I could write about. Making the life web helped me sort out different ideas that I have about me. And I sorted them into categories. I sorted them into the category people, animals, places that I've been, and things that I love. Sorting out our ideas helps us get more ideas that we can write about. Today, we're going to listen to a story about two girls. This is a great story about friendship, acceptance, and keeping an open mind. In this story, the two girls learn that their friendship is much stronger than their differences. Let's find out what happens to Lily and Salma. The Sandwich Swap.
The Sandwich Swap, written by Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah, with Kelly DiPuccio and illustrated by Trisha Tucson, read by Mr. Andre. It all began with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it ended with a hummus sandwich. Salma and Lily were best friends at school. They drew pictures together. They played on the swings together. They jumped rope together. And they ate their lunches together. But just what they ate was a little different. Lily ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for lunch. Salma ate a hummus and pita sandwich every day for lunch. And although Lily never said it out loud, she thought Salma's sandwich looked weird and yucky. She felt terrible that her friend had to eat that icky chickpea paste every day. Ew! Yuck! And although Salma never said it out loud, she thought Lily's sandwich looked strange and gross. She felt just awful that her friend had to eat that gooey peanut paste every day. Ew, gross. Then one day, Lily just couldn't hold back those pesky thoughts any longer. Your sandwich looks kind of yucky, she blurted out. What did you say? Salma asked, thinking she must have misunderstood her friend. I said, your sandwich looks yucky. Salma frowned. She looked down at the thin, soft bread, and she thought of her beautiful, smiling mother as she carefully cut Salma's sandwich into two neat halves that morning. Her hurt feelings turned mad. Yeah, well, your sandwich looks gross, and it smells bad, too. Salma snapped back. Lily looked surprised. She sniffed the thick, squishy bread, and she thought of her dad in his silly apron, whistling as he cut Lily's sandwich into two perfect triangles that morning. Lily scowled. It does not smell bad, does too. Ew, yuck. Ew, gross. That afternoon, the friends did not draw pictures together. They did not swing together, and they did not jump rope together either. The next day, Salma ate her lunch at one table, and Lily ate her lunch at another. Meanwhile, the peanut butter versus hummus story had spread, and everyone began choosing sides. Each side had something not so nice to say to the other. Peanut butter breath, jelly heads, garlic breath, chickpea brains. Pretty soon the rude insults had nothing at all to do with peanut butter or hummus. You're weird. You're stupid. You look funny. You dress dumb. And then it happened. hummus sandwiches and other lunch favorites began flying back and forth between both sides of the lunchroom. They stuck to the walls, they stuck to the ceiling, they stuck to the lunch lady. When the sandwiches were all gone, pudding cups and applesauce and carrot sticks took flight. Salma and Lily looked at one another from across the rowdy splattered room. They both felt ashamed by what they saw. They both felt really ashamed when the principal called them into her office, after they had helped clean up the mess. The following day, Salma set her lunch down across from Lily's. The two girls nibbled on their sandwiches in silence. Finally, Lily got up the courage to speak. "Would you like to try a bite of my peanut butter and jelly?" Salma grinned. "Sure, why not? Would you like to try my hummus and pita?" Lily laughed. "I'd like that. On the count of 3. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yummy. Hey, this is delicious. And this is heavenly." The girls giggled and hugged and traded sandwiches. After lunch, Salma and Lily met with the principal again. This time, they were there to suggest a very special event for the whole school. And that's how it all began, with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and ended with a hummus and pita sandwich. The end. This has been a reading for House by Town English.
Oh, I love that story. And I do love hummus, too. And peanut butter and jelly.
The Sandwich.
Okay, so, wow. It was a great story about friendship. We're going to take a look at my life web that I created yesterday. And today, I'm going to add 3 to 4 more ideas to my web. Good writers continually, that means they constantly go back and look at their life to find other stories. And I want to be a good writer, so I am going to try to come up with 3 or 4 more ideas to put on my web of life. So when I look at, these are the people that I've lived with, okay, my mom, my dad, my brother and sister, and my husband and my 4 boys. I could also tell a lot of stories about my Grammy Gunther. This is my mom's mom. She's still alive. She's going to be 90. She just turned 94. And she lives up near my mom. And I could tell lots of stories about her. Animals, I thought of some more animals that I could write about. I could write about sheep and rabbits. Because when I was little, we used to raise sheep. And we had lots and lots of rabbits. And places. Oop, it didn't show up. There we go. First of all, my love is I love shopping. So I could talk about that. And baking. I do like to bake. And my favorite place to shop is TJ Maxx, the store. I love going in and just looking and sometimes buying. So when I think of a different idea, I stop and I make sure that I write it down so that I can add it to my list, so that as I'm trying to come up with different stories about me, I have a big list of ideas to choose from. Today you're going to see if you can come up with 3 to 4 more ideas to add to your life web. You're also going to play a game and sort different ideas into categories.